Well, hello everybody. Morning wherever you're at. If it's still morning, it's morning here in Las Vegas. As you can see, I'm outside enjoying the weather before it gets too hot. Thought I'd come back out and say something about some of the basically the hopefully the debate that everybody saw Thursday night, or a lot of you hopefully saw. Um, Giving my opinion on it, I think as I would think a lot of you feel the same way, hopefully, that we had a disastrous debate. Whatever comes out of that is, if anything comes out of that, it should be that neither one of these two guys need to be president of the United States. What we're going to do about it, a lot of it's up to the Democratic Party. All the pundits that I watched after the debate, and I watched several hours of analysis, shall we say, by CBS first for a little while, which disgusted me because they were all completely, unapologetically biased toward Biden. He could do nothing wrong. And I changed over to News Nation, which is a network that I find is a little bit more down, is a bit more down the middle, a bit more honest. They try to get everybody's opinions. They seem to be trying at least to not be overrun and taken over by one party or the other, which is I think is a good thing. We need a news organization that's going to tell everybody the truth, be honest about it, and let you make up your own mind. As I've said, I think we need to start using our own good common sense to think things through, figure out what we want to do without having someone sway our opinion. Having said that, I think Donald Trump is, I don't know, an egotistical idiot. Um, when he was president before, I think he did some good things. I think the economy was in a whole lot better shape when he was president. I know I can't think of any new wars that started anywhere in the world while he was president. I mean, there's always going to be conflict someplace, but he never got us into anything again. Uh, Joe Biden, obviously, uh, he isn't there anymore. Joe Biden needs to get out. He needs to retire, take it easy for the rest of his life, because 4 more years of his presidency, he won't make it 4 years. The stress will kill him. He can't do it anymore. Um, as far as what everybody said, a lot of everyone that I watched, of course, all they want to do, a lot of what they want to do is comment on how many lies that Trump told, and he did lie. He did lie about a lot of things. But if you really look at things, you fact check, and if you're actually living in the United States and understand what's going on around you, Biden told a few lies himself. He's constantly telling us how great the economy is. All you got to do is go to the grocery store. You don't even have to go to the gas station. We already know about the gas prices. But all you got to do is go to the grocery store. You can't buy anything that's not 50, 60, 70, 80% higher than it was when he took office. I'll give you an example. I like to cook. In fact, I'm sitting out here right near the barbecue right now because I've got a brisket on. And when I cook, I use a lot of different ingredients. But the simplest thing, we'll talk about green onions for just a second. I go to a store, I buy a bunch of green onions. And I don't know about anywhere else, but around here they come in a bunch of about 6. 5 years ago, I could get a bunch of 6 green onions for 20 cents. Right now, what I paid for them the other day, on sale, mind you, I bought a bunch of green onions on sale at the local grocery store at Winco, which is a discount grocery store, were 58 cents. They're normally 78 cents for 6 green onions. That's ridiculous. And that's the kind of pricing we're seeing on everything: bread, milk, eggs. We all know what the price of eggs is like. So when Biden says the economy is doing well, He's either trying to fool himself into it, or he's flat out lying to us. When I looked up this, just the inflation rate and the unemployment rate, just those two statistics. 2019, the inflation rate was 1.9%. 2023, at the end of 2023, it was 8%. 2019, the unemployment rate was 3.6, 3.7%. Right now, it's about, I think, 4.3% because it's gone up in the last couple of months. So the unemployment rate is pretty good. But in the years in between, it skyrocketed. Of course, we had COVID, and we know what happened. The government shut the country down, so that put everybody out of work. But that's one of the things that I think Biden lies about all the time. They shut the country down during COVID. That was during his administration, the year they shut the country down. Unemployment skyrocketed. I think it was in the low 20s or something like that. Anyway, millions of people were put out of work. Thousands of small businesses have ceased to exist and will never come back because they just couldn't get through it. Biden claims now, in the debate the other night, he claimed to have created 15 million new jobs. That's a lie. It's a flat out lie. He may have brought back, since the pandemic, he may have brought back maybe 13, 14, 15 million jobs, but they're not new jobs. They're jobs that were taken away and restored. So I would call them restored jobs. He's created a few new jobs with this technology of his, but from day one he put people out of work with shutting down the pipeline and doing things like that. On the other hand, we don't know what Trump's going to do. We just don't. He's got an ego that will not let him make the wisest decisions in the world. He calls everybody names. I mean, that debate the other night was ridiculous. It was like two little kids in a schoolyard calling each other names. And in fact, I think even Trump said at the end when they were arguing about their golf games, which, I mean, come on. Trump said, let's not act like children. Well, I'm sorry, Donald, you guys acted like children the whole debate. Both of you. You acted like little idiots on the playground that wanted to bully the other guy. And we don't need that in our president, out of our president of the United States. We can't have it. It's ridiculous. It's mind-numbing to think that we have to pick one of these two guys right now. We don't. We have a third alternative that nobody's talking about, and that the Democrats definitely don't want you to hear from him. Donald Trump says, yeah, he'd like to see him in the debates, but I don't know how much he thinks he wants to hear from him. He thinks he'd tear him up in a debate. I don't think he would, because he's talking about Robert Kennedy Jr., who's a very intelligent man. A lot of people don't like him because he's not a politician. Again, another one who's not a politician. Everybody claims he's anti-vax because nobody really knows the facts about what he says. But at least he'd be a third alternative. Whether he'd be the right choice, I don't know. Like I said before, the only thing we can do about it is go out and vote. That's how we change things. We vote. There are other third-party candidates that nobody's hearing about. And right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of their names. I really can't, because you don't hear about them. I know one of them is a woman, Jill Stein, I think is her name, and another one is a black gentleman. And I, be honest with you, I can't think of his name because I've heard about him like maybe twice in the last 8 months. And that was, they mentioned him on one of the reports after the election, that they were the other third-party candidates. We've got to do something. We can't have one of these two guys as president. I believe it's going to end up that way, unfortunately, but who knows? And my son-in-law was telling me this morning that he was on perusing the internet, which he normally does when he gets up in the morning, and he said that Joe Biden is actually considering. He's talking to his family, his wife, I guess his son and his grandchildren mainly, and some of his closest advisors about the possibility of him not running, of him dropping out of the race. Who would they pick? Well, who do they got? The two names that uh, my son-in-law saw. I can't remember, Holcomb or something like that, and Gavin Newsom. By God, I hope we don't get Gavin Newsom anywhere near the White House. What he's done to California, if he does that to this country, we might as well just give up right now. But there are other possibilities out there. The guys on News Nation, one of the guys on News Nation, Cuomo, was talking to Robert Kennedy Jr. because they interviewed him afterwards. Obviously, they're going to. Suggested that maybe he contact the Democratic National Committee and ask them to consider him instead of Biden. I mean, he is a lifelong Democrat. The only reason he's running as an independent is because the Democrats stupidly forbid anybody else to run against Biden because they figured, oh, we can get Joe Biden in and we can control the world again. It ain't going to happen. You can't put Kamala Harris up there. Kamala Harris is a joke. She's hated more than Biden is. I mean, all you got to do is read the reports anywhere on the national news, the social media, anywhere you want to get your news from. She's an idiot. She barely can run her own household, let alone run the damn country. The only reason she's there in the first place, well, I won't go into my opinion on that because I know that it's going to piss a lot of people off. But the point is, as citizens of this country, we have a responsibility to change things. We need to do it peacefully. The only way to do it peacefully is to go out and vote. I don't care who you vote for. Well, actually, I guess I do because I'm ranting and raving against the two candidates. I know who I'm going to vote for, and it's not either one of them. I had stated, I think previously, that I wouldn't tell anybody who I was going to vote for, but I'm voting for Robert Kennedy. Right now, he's the most viable choice, unless the Democrats come up with somebody else that I think can do the job. I'm not voting for Trump, and I'm not voting for Biden. The only reason Biden's in there anyway is because more people hated Trump than Biden the last time. In 2020, Joe Biden got elected president solely on the fact that people hate Trump because they think he's a buffoon, they think he's this, they think he's that, whatever. But they hated Trump, so Biden got the presidency. Because the Democrats couldn't come up with anybody else that they could control. If they had put one of those other candidates, they had some viable candidates in those debates when they were debating Biden. They had people that I thought trounced Biden in the debates, but they forced them out one at a time. And look what we're stuck with. Look what we've gotten over the last 4 years. So again, I'm asking people, I'm hoping that we can get our shit together. We can use our common sense. We can look around us and see what's going on in this world. I mean, look at some of these Democratic-run cities, major cities. Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York. I could go on and on. San Francisco they might as well just turn it into a trash dump. I know people who live up in that area, in the Seattle area, in the San Francisco area. They want to get out. The only problem is right now they can't because of the way the economy is. They're kind of stuck. They can't leave because they got no place they can afford to go. So, I mean, you want more of that, just keep putting people like Biden in office and some of these other clowns. Newsom, look what Newsom's doing to California. They're talking about the possibility of bringing him at least in as a vice presidential candidate. We don't need him anywhere near the White House, especially if they keep Biden and then bring him in instead of Kamala Harris, and something happens to Biden, which I think, look, I don't hope it happens. I don't wish for it. I want to see it. That Biden will not survive another 4 years as president. The stress will kill him. And if you couldn't see that Thursday night, then you're blind, or you're just so hopeful that he'll beat Trump that you don't want to see it. But the man can't do it anymore. You just have to look at his face when Trump's talking. You have to listen to him talk. Yeah, he had a couple really lucid moments, especially when he got pissed off at Biden about his son Beau, and I can't blame him for that, because that was, you know. But then again, I mean, there are things that he said were lies too. He and Trump both lied, probably 70% of the time they were up there. And it's we can't have that as the president of the United States. That job is supposed to, supposedly, at least it was once, thought of as the most powerful person on earth. The best country in the world, the strongest country in the world, the one person in the world that could really put his foot down, his thumb on the pulse of what's going on and get things done. In the last, I don't know, 12, 16 years, our standing around the world has gone down. Now, I got to say, when Trump was president, Putin, the Rocket Man, the Chinese, Hamas, and all, Iran, basically, they stayed pretty quiet. Yeah, they rattled a sword every once in a while, but I believe they were afraid of Donald Trump. But I don't think they were afraid of him because he's such a strong guy. I think they're afraid of him because he's got the United States. He's got our military. He's got our capabilities. They screw him over and make him mad with his ego. God knows what will happen. I think that's what happened. Joe Biden has been weak since day one in the Oval Office. Putin, I watched Joe Biden. Now, that war's been going on for 3 years. I watched Joe Biden in his first State of the Union address basically dare Putin to invade Ukraine. What was it? A couple weeks later, there they are, fighting in Ukraine. Because Putin knew that Biden had no problem. He had no problem with Biden. He wasn't going to get any raise out of it. He wasn't going to get Biden to step in and take over and do something about it. Yeah, we're sending billions of dollars worth of aid over there, which is, who knows how you feel about that. But it's not doing that much good. If it was, they wouldn't be in their third year of war. Then you go, Hamas attacks Israel. I guarantee you that's not happening if Trump's president, because that only happened because Biden gave Iran all their money back. All the money that Trump and the world had put on hold, that Iran couldn't get a hold of. They were broke. They had no money. They're the ones who fund Hamas and most of these other terrorist organizations. They get their money back, and look what happens. Israel gets attacked. I don't like, as I said before, I don't like what's going on over there. I don't like the way the Israelis are doing things, but I certainly think they deserve to protect themselves. They deserve to fight back. And if this is the way it's got to go, unfortunately, it's the way it's got to go. But Hamas started it. They got to pay the consequences. And Trump did say one thing that I agreed with the other night when they asked him about the Israeli-Hamas conflict. He said, let Israel go. Let them take care of it. Let them end it once and for all. Let them do away with Hamas. Those weren't his words, but if you watch the debate, you know what I'm talking about. Let Israel go and complete the job. I agree with that. It's started. It has to be done, because if they stop now, it's going to happen again. It's going to keep happening again until we rid ourselves of these terrorist organizations. So, anyway, I just wanted to say my piece, put my opinion out there, ask people to use their mind, use your brain, use your common sense, look at things, look at the whole picture. Don't look at just one part of it. I know Donald Trump is a jackass. He is. He's a jackass. He's got an ego that's as big as the world. And God knows what he's going to do with that ego. And it might not be very good. On the other hand, Joe Biden is a feeble old man who he's not going to live through another 4 years. I hope that he does the right thing for himself, but especially for the country, and backs out, tells them let somebody else run, because it will kill him. There's no doubt about it. The stress will kill him. And if it doesn't, it'll drive him clear over the edge where they'll have to replace him anyway. God help us if Kamala Harris gets into office. Because if you think Biden's bad for the country, wait till you see what she'll do to it. So anyway, I'm hoping that everybody has a good day. I know this has not been exactly a cheerful video. Seems like it's full of doom and gloom, and unfortunately, it probably is. I try to remain positive. I just wanted to put my opinion about this out there, and hope that people will again use their own common sense, make some decent choices, and get out and vote. No matter what your choice is, get out and vote, because that's the only way we're going to change things. And we have to change things, and we have to change them for the better. If you don't see someone you like on the ballot, but you know of someone who's running, write them in. That's your legal right. You can do that. I'm not sure if you can do it in every state, but I know in most states you can. The states that I've lived in over my life, you can. So, if that's what it comes to, do a write-in vote. I mean, at least if you do a write-in vote, the guy that you don't want in there has a better chance of not being in there, because it'll take votes away from him. I hope that we come up with a viable alternative to one of these two guys. I know it's getting close. There's like 5 months left till the election. If the Democrats act quickly and put in somebody who's worth looking at and can get the word out about that person, no matter who it is, maybe that can be a good thing. We just need to get a change. We need a change, and we need one badly. And unfortunately, as much as it looks like it's going to be one of these two guys, I hope it's not. So, having said all that, and kind of added on a sour note, I want to wish everybody a great day. If I don't get back on here before 4th of July, everybody have a great 4th of July. Excuse me. Think about your national pride. Love your family. Love God. Love your nation. Whatever order you want to put those three things in. But be smart about how you do things. Treat people well. Be kind to everyone. Even if someone makes you mad, try to be kind to them. Try to show them the better way. And maybe if we can all do that a little bit here and there, things will get better. Maybe we'll start liking each other, stop fighting with each other, and see this country for what it can be, what it has been, and what it can be again, and go from there. So God bless everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you again.